Welcome back to the studio, Marinочка. I am very happy that you picked the time out of your busy life to reconnect and pick the most important topic that's very super important to our audience, the topic of nutrition. We will cover today a lot of different parts of nutrition, what makes you unique, what makes you master what you do, what really led you to do what you do in life. Obviously, yoga and nutrition is super connected, and you always mention about different ideas, how people can eat, and what type of clients come to you. And we both paying attention to the most important fact that people really care about how they look. But we need to go backwards into the most important area where it all begins. It begins with nutrition. It begins with what we consume. It begins to what we drink. It begins to how we live our lifestyle day in, day out. So the most important area that you're always telling me, colors are important. And colors really create this vibrant feeling of how you feel and how we feel not only mentally, emotionally, but internally. What makes you eat every single day the right way?
The right way. Thank you, Olga, for having me back. It's a pleasure to be back here. Like I mentioned to you before, when I started practicing yoga, I realized yoga is not only stretching, and it's also part of the way I eat, the way we eat. So I love to eat, honestly. I love food. I love colorful food. I love our traditional food. I realized one thing, that food makes me who I am. Because by consuming right product, I feel light. I feel energized. Food creates a lot of energy. Everything what we eat creates calories. In every food we eat, it's a calories. And these calories, when we consume correctly, it burns to the energy. So I realized that the proper way I eat, I have better energy. I'm more energized. I feel better. I think better. I just feel light.
I have to tell you, Marina, I perform better when I'm not full. I guess it's the way the brain operates. So I definitely started to pay more and more attention lately after I started practicing yoga to pay attention to the body, how my body feels after certain meals, how my body performs after consumption, let's say, of a glass of wine, how my body performs after a cup of coffee. So I realized that having a coffee makes me extremely hyper, makes me really feel that I just can't relax and think straight. It just makes my thoughts go very wild. And the same applies to food. Many people know that I quit eating red meat 10 years ago, about 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Here and there, I could have some stuffed peppers, but I only do it once in a while. Very occasionally. My family likes to have multiple different dishes on Shabbat. And as you and I know, during Shabbat dinners, we mix a lot of different salads. And we mix so much different types of food. So it's the fish, it's the stuffed peppers, it's the steaks, it's, all kinds of different foods. And technically, it's the party to the brain, but I don't think it's the party for the body.
Yeah.
Because the next morning I could wake up after Shabbat and I can't even put my feet down because I feel swollen. And I really never understood this before, why my body feels bloated. And I really couldn't understand what's causing all this. And with your guidance,
right,
and with guidance of a lot of different mentors that I have in my life right now, you guys are teaching me that I'm a big salty person.
Right.
I love salty pickles and
yes.
sour pickles.
I'm not a nutritionist, but I took a basic course of what's nutrients and why it's important to eat them properly. In our nutrition course, we learned a few things. The most important thing, we need to consume right carbs, because sometimes people think carbs is bad, but carbs is divided in 3 different parts. Carbs can be sugary carbs, like it's soda, it's cakes and cookies. And the carbs also can be starchy carbs. It's like a sweet potato, potatoes and grains. And also carbs can be a fiber, broccoli, greens, leaves. If you mix this all, right? It's very hard to digest. So you have to pick, because if you're eating, for example, sugary carbs, like we did on Shabbat, we mix with rice. So you have a high spike of sugar. So, but if you eat a little bit like a sweet potato, it has a little bit less glucose in your body, so less sugar, so it's digested a little bit slower, right? If you eat more vegetables, for example, like string beans or asparagus or broccoli, it has even lower digestion rates. So, slower sugar level. So it's depends what carbs you eat. But the carbs are very essential for our body and for our especially brain, because we create a lot of good neurons. For example, if I have a headache, I know that I need to have a carbs now. So I will pick either sourdough bread I have in my fridge, and I'll have a butter a little bit on top of it, and I feel amazing after. I feel focused. Something really works with my brain. So what I start doing it, I ask myself every morning when I get up, what do I like to eat? What my body wants? So I talk to myself. What do I want to have for breakfast? What do I want to have for lunch? It's very important to know, what do you want? Also, when I get up in the morning, I eat at home. I don't eat outside. I don't eat in my car. I make sure I get up early and I create my own food. I sit at the table. I look at my food. I taste my food. I chew slowly, and I enjoy my food. Like I said before,
it.
Right. It's very important, because when you look at your food, first of all, it's a lot of colors. So because in those colors, we have a lot of minerals, and every color gives a little bit good aroma and taste. So sometimes if you get up in the morning early and you don't have time, you rush through it. So you miss this enjoyment. You miss this feel of satisfaction. Eating in the car, you're just swallowing. You're eating more than you're supposed to eat, because when you really enjoy and look at your food, you're going to eat less, and you're going to eat slow. But I know we're all busy. Maybe get up only 30 minutes early before you go to work. That's what I do.
Do you read labels when you buy food?
Of course. It's very important to read labels.
Expiration dates?
Right, expiration dates. Because what happens sometimes when you go to the store, we're all busy. I know we want you to get in and out. But firstly, what you do before you go to shopping, you have to make a list of the grocery you need. Because sometimes you go to the store and you see so many beautiful pictures on the wall. I'm like, oh, I want this. And you see so many beautiful stuff on the shelf. Oh my God. And maybe you never thought, maybe you don't need it. Like if you really stick to your list, which you really want to buy, it's going to be easier for you. Stay focused, right? Sometimes you come home like, oh my God, half of the things I don't need to buy. So it's very important. Also, when you buy something, you should not only see what's in the front of you. You have to always see behind, because the old stuff they put in front, and the backs, the fresh stuff they put in the back.
The important stuff is in the back.
So I do that sometimes. I check. It's very important to read labels, because also in the labels they show the serving size, right? Sometimes it's very important to know each product, what servings, how many calories in each servings. For example, if you buy ketchup, right? If the first it says sugar, so there is no ketchup. If this first it says tomatoes, so there is a really good amount of tomatoes there. So it's very important to read what you consuming, because it's not what's outside, it's what you inside, what appears outside. It's very important.
And expiration dates.
Yes, expiration dates, very important too. But if you know you're home and you're not going anywhere, you're going to consume this in a week or two, you can buy. But if if it's too close, try not to buy this product. It's very important.
How's proper diet affecting people with diabetes?
Like I said, of course, it's
effective. Can it heal?
Of course.
Can it cure?
If you eat properly it means, let's be honest. I mean, we all love to eat, right? But you can properly eat, but at the same time, you need to balance. You need to know how much carbs you intake, and very important to eat proteins, because proteins, it's great for wound healers, and also to build the muscle mass. We also have to incorporate good fat in the body, right? So fat, it's not bad. It depends how much fat we consume and what kind of fat we consume. If we consume animal fat, like cheese and a lot of, fat stuff, of course it's saturated fat. It's too much of everything is bad. So, but you have to be very mindful. Maybe incorporate more natural fat, plant-based fat. It's like avocado, flax seeds and nuts, olive oil. So these things, it's good for us. For example, if you have a diabetes, you cannot have a lot of carbs, bad carbs, too much sugar, even fruits, you have to be very careful, because the fruits, like watermelon, pineapple, mango, and grapes. There's a lot of sugar in it, natural sugar, right? A lot of vegetables also have natural sugar. So you have to be very careful when you pick and choose your fruits and vegetables. They're very important for our body, but you want to go with the fiber more. In broccoli also we have carbs, but there's more fiber carbs, right? So it can digest slowly and less sugary. You're controlling this way your sugar level. Because what's diabetes? Number 2. So when your pancreatic is over producing insulin, right? When you produce over insulin, so you have insulin resistance and the body cannot work with this yourself. That's why you need to really help your body by maybe fasting, maybe to intermittent fasting. For some people, fasting is too much. Like for me, it's hard for me to fast because I'm too active. I'm working, I'm very active, and I'm sure I can fast if I really want to, but I like to do intermittent fasting, 14 to 16 hours. This way, I control my proportion, I control my food intake, my calories intake. Again, so diet is for everybody is different. It's depends on your gender, it depends on your size, on your height, on your weight. So how much calories maybe you can consume, I may not consume, or how much I can consume, you may not consume, because it depends what kind of work we do. Like I have a friend, she's a little bit taller than me, and most of the time she sits. Her job is more sitting. So she said, Marina, how come you eat more than I do? Because I eat some 2-3 times a day, and I eat really good. And she's like, I eat only once a day, and I eat very light. And I said, okay, when do you eat? She eats at night. She gained a lot of weight. She gained 20-30 pounds for the past few years, because she's not as active as I am. So I start my day with a good breakfast, and I slow down on very nice lunch, and I skip dinners. But if you don't eat all day and you pack all your calories at the end of the night, it's too much stress for your body. Your body, 2-3 hours before night, preparing your body for the night. But if you're consuming too much food, your body is not relaxing. It's actually working.
Overworking.
Right. But your body have to prepare you for repairing your muscles, your tissues, right? But if you're eating at night too much and you're drinking, you're not going to be able to sleep. You're going to toss and turn. You're going to be very agitated. You're going to be bloated. You're not going to be focused. And next day, your day is going to be all ruined because you're not yourself, like you said before, right? So it's very important to eat. And some people say, I'm not a morning person. Probably you are not, but it's all start with habits. I used to eat at night late. Since I started doing practice yoga and meditating and focusing on my food, I changed my diet. If you get up 5 o'clock in the morning, 5:30, of course you're going to be hungry by 6, right? Last meal I had 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. Of course I'm going to be hungry next morning, 5 o'clock. I'm looking forward for food in the morning. I can't wait. I get excited. That much I love food. But at night, mentally, I set up my mind, I'm not eating tonight. Even though my husband's going to bring beautiful watermelon, it's so juicy, so crunchy. I'm like, Marina, you're not eating. It's a sugar. You're going to bed in a few hours. Stop. So, and it works for me. So I set my mind not to eat at night. And
so
it
you
works.
Program your brain.
Of course, we all can program. You can program your brain. Say, I cannot do this, or I need this sugar, or I need this, or no. It's all how you set your mind.
Well, it's amazing how Yom Kippur is coming soon, right?
Yes.
And a lot of people will be holding on 24 hours without food, and nobody dies in that 24 hours. I mean,
Actually,
we barely even
hours.
Drink.
Right. We don't eat. No, we don't drink.
We don't drink. We don't eat. We take a break for 24 hours.
Why? Because it's mentally set up.
Correct.
We're mentally programming ourselves. Yom Kippur coming up. We cannot eat. We can do it. But imagine if that person can do this every week. Well, at least start with the intermediate,
It's amazing what the mind can do, right?
Definitely.
Although people underestimate, I would say. I believe that many people underestimate their willpower and their brain to how they can perform. In my opinion, everything comes from your brain. You could command your brain to become a billionaire if you want to.
Right, but how can you do that?
But you need to start working on your mental state to become better.
But how?
Right?
But how? By eating clean. Because when you eat clean, you create positive and good thoughts. If you eat too much meat, too much starch, too much carbs, You become very
You get
heavy, tired. You cannot think
You get
straight.
drained
You want to
out.
go to bed.
Correct.
So if you want to have a clear
It's
thoughts,
interesting. Mhm.
that's what we always say. If you want to clear thoughts, eat clean and light.
I have to honestly tell you, I have my youngest son. Anytime he would eat sushi, we have a bet. He eats sushi, and within 30 minutes, I will find him in his bedroom because his body just cannot tolerate and digest rice, white rice.
Don't eat.
So, but
Body
every
tells you.
but
Body
every
tells
time
you.
he wants to kind of like play that game when he wants to go to bed, he eats sushi
No.
and or pizza and Coca-Cola, and we have conversations about it a lot.
No.
And this is definitely a very pure example. I could record a video of him before and after, and it's just unbelievable
No.
to how the body responds. But let's cover now a little bit more about the timing, Marina. The timing before you go to sleep. What's your best piece of advice for someone to stop eating? How many hours prior to you going to sleep? What is your best piece of advice?
I think 3 hours before going to bed, you have to eat. If
You have to stop eating.
You stop eating, yeah. So before you're going to bed, you don't eat 3 hours before. So if you're really hungry, like you didn't have anything to eat, but sometimes you can trick your brain because it takes 20 minutes for stomach to get full, right? And for brain to realize that you're full. So what you can do, you can just drink hot, not hot, but warm water.
Warm water.
Yeah, because it's gonna fill your stomach and it tells your brain, hey, you know what? I'm full now. So it really helps, but slowly, it helps. Also, what you can do sometimes, guys, just go to bed. Like sometimes I'm very hungry after 2-3 hours because I teach at night classes. I'm really hungry. And what I do, I just drink a little bit of water and just go to bed. I try not to think about food. It's all about like thought. Oh my God, what do I have in the fridge? Oh, I want this. Okay, I can do it. Yes, I can afford because I just worked 3 hours. It's okay. No, you just say yourself, no, let's just wait until tomorrow. Because again, your body is like a repair shop. It's repairing when you sleep. Like for example, I know some food doesn't work with me, right? And if it doesn't work with you, you have to stop. You cannot continue forcing your body to eat this because sooner or later it's going to really affect you. Body tells you, sometimes we ignore, it's okay, like your son, he cannot eat rice, just ignore this, like don't eat. But if you're going to keep doing this, that's how we age fast. So if you eat less and more fiber food, more proteins, more good oils, right? So you age slowly. We're all going to age eventually. But you don't need to speed up this process with a lot of packing meats, a lot of sugary, a lot of pastry. For example, it's very common, like in culture, after heavy meal, we have pastries, we have fruits and vegetables, or too much. It's too much. After heavy meal, again, or ice cream or dessert. No, cut this. If you want some fruits, eat before dinner. I recommend.
How do you handle Shabbat dinners?
I love Shabbat. And I cook I do a lot of grill vegetables. I broil my fish. I do a lot of steam product, on my dinner. I do a lot of salads. I do my own hummus. I love hummus. I soak my chickpeas night before and I boil them. Yeah, it takes some time, but I love my food. I love to cook and I love to cook in colors. I do my own pesto sauce, delicious. I make my own tartare. Also, the way I make it, it's beautiful. And I have fun. I have fun with food. I think food is art. And you have to be very mindful what you put in your mouth. Because everything that I put in my mouth, I also ask, is it going to kill me or heal me?
Well, we are what we eat.
Exactly.
And you also mentioned that you had a 2-hour rule. What was that all about?
When I started practicing yoga, I realized I can't just go to do yoga with a full stomach. So you can't even be able to move properly. So every time when I have a new client, and I always say, please, or everybody remind them, do not eat 2 hours before the class because you're not going to get full benefits of yoga. Because in yoga, we're stretching, we're moving our body. But if you're full, like I had a class with the 2 couples, it's like, oh my God, I can't move, I'm going to throw up now. So he ate 1.5 hours, but he ate probably too full. He maybe was very hungry and he maybe overate. So it's very important. Do not overeat, number one, and number two, 3 hours before practicing yoga.
What's your best piece of advice for children?
For
Especially
children,
now.
for
Kids are going
children,
to school.
I think
kids.
for parents, I will give advice because parents who provides with food, I think parents should be very mindful how they pack their lunch, what they give for snack, because it's very important to eat whole food. Whole food, it means everything would grows under the earth and above. Whatever human-made, processed food, we need to eliminate because it's really affecting our kids' brain. They development, it's slowing the development, it's affecting the skin, it's a lot of things happening with the children if we're not going to watch what we give them. So when my son was small, I mean back then I was not even in yoga, I never had in my life in my home chips, I never had Coke, I never had even soda, I never had juices, never, ever. My son now told me, Mama, the best thing you ever did in our lives, because I said, if you're hungry, you can eat food. If you're thirsty, you can drink water. If you want juice, you can make fresh squeezed juice, not from the container, not from the bottles. And there is no soda in my house. And you know what? He was very grateful to me for that, because I see now, like, we go even a restaurant, or I see go to the people houses for Shabbat. I see people a lot after, even not even after, during the meal, they have a Coke or Diet Coke or Snapple. Imagine how much sugar they pack. Like last week, I was very thirsty. I said to my husband, you know what, I want ginger ale, because ginger ale usually is good for us, right? And my husband said, did you look how much sugar they have? 59% of sugar.
So you trained your husband.
Right. I mean, we always talk about, like, looking at the labels. 59%, it's half the cup of the sugar in that. So I stopped. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to just drink water. So you have to be very mindful what you give to your kids, even to yourself. This is all sugary water. It's very dangerous because it's carbs. It's a sugar carb, which is going to spike your insulin. It's going to give you high, like for 2 minutes, you're going to be happy. And then you're going to be what? Slouchy, crash, and you need more of this. And that's how you become diabetic. 20 years ago, it used to be maybe 1 person out of 10 used to be diabetics. Now it's 9 out of 10. Very common people who are having diabetes because the food is, look at this, everywhere we go, it's food. Everybody wants to sell us food.
Abundance of food.
Too much. I think it's dangerous to overeat, and we don't even look at our proportions. For example, the bagel.
Do you believe in portion control?
Of course. For example, like bagel, like a mini bagel, right? Now we call mini bagel. It used to be a normal one size serving, but now, look at the bagel now we eat. It's 2 serving food per person, right? It's too much. We're consuming too much. We want everything big. Like, look at the apples. I remember when I was growing up, we had small apples. That's 1 serving. But now look at the apples we buy. Look at the kiwis we buy. Look at the strawberries. Why? Because producer growing bigger and consumer wants bigger. Then we want everything big, big, big.
Right.
But we forgot this is a double serving. So we're consuming 2 times more. So, for example, bananas, 2 servings. Medium banana, it's 2 servings. So if you're hungry, eat half of the banana. So it's very important what we eat and how much we eat. And also, sometimes people say fat is bad. No, we need fat because in fat we have a lot of good vitamins: vitamin A, vitamin D, K, and E. It all comes from the good fat, from avocado, from the oil, from the seeds, from the olive oil. But if you're consuming too much avocado, if you're consuming too much seeds, it's too much. So it's double impact. So you have to be very, very careful how much we consume.
When we do yoga, Marina, we practice mantras.
Yes.
I believe mantras do work because you are able to condition your brain, your mind to follow through with what you're directing yourself to do. Not to get impulsive, because I think when people talk about food, I think people do get impulsive. And we have so much variety. And look at weddings. Don't even go too far. I mean, we'll go to weddings and look at the variety of all the food that exists there. And we're not going to get into the topic of how much of this gets wasted because a human body can't really eat that much. But my belief is that we could command our brain to follow through and control what we should or shouldn't do. How do you feel about mantras?
Say yourself, okay, I'm not going to eat tonight. I'm going to the party, right? Or I can do this. You can kind of reinforcing yourself that you can do it. It's very important to have positive mantras, right? Because this is who you are. If you're going to keep saying that, you cannot do it or you're not capable of doing, or if you're going to keep saying, I'm hungry, you're definitely going to be hungry. You're kind of programming yourself this way. That's why you have to always say, I'm healthy. I can do this. Today I'm going to skip my dinner. Tomorrow I'm going to skip maybe sugar in my coffee. Maybe after tomorrow I'm not going to eat this. So you can do it. It's all about setting your mind, talking to yourself, praising yourself. I think everybody can do it. If I can do it, I think you can do it. Everybody can do it. It's very important.
Marina, we spoke about how my husband hates when he tells me, I'm hungry. And I tell him, you're not hungry. Just have a glass of water.
Yeah.
And he looks at me and he's ready to really gets very mad with me. No, I'm hungry. And I'm like, no, you thirsty.
Yeah, thirsty, exactly.
And I've attended a lot of different events, including one big event with Tony Robbins. And Tony always talks about two major things that is always stuck in my brain. Water. Drink a glass of water before you even start eating. Before you even start eating, have a glass of water. And then the consumption of food reduces because your stomach is not that empty.
Exactly.
That's number one. Number
20
two,
minutes,
what Tony spoke about, no matter what you eat, he believes in having a very good portion of greens, a salad. He believes that salad helps digest
it's a fiber.
all the food that we eat. So, it's very interesting how sometimes when we go out and I see the portions that sometimes people get, and I look at them not from the judgment standpoint, just feel bad for their body because the body works all night. And then in the morning, how many people do you know that they didn't even wake up yet and they just open their eyes and they're like, oh, I'm so tired. What is this all about? The bloating and the tired in the morning.
Eating late can give this effect. And also sometimes you're not even hungry. It's it's a cue you talking to yourself like, oh my God, maybe I'm hungry because you're seeing beautiful food, right? For example, if I go to the guest house for Shabbat or some parties, right? So first thing what I do, this is the tricks and this is the tips I give to my clients. What I do, I eat at home, first of all. I eat 4 o'clock. I eat very nice lunch. And then since I don't eat dinners, so I know I'm going to go to the party. So I come to the party. I look at the table. I pick 3 things that I really can eat and I'm going to enjoy. I don't mix anything else. So I look at these 3 things. I mentally put already, mental notes. So what I'm going to pick and eat. I stick with these 3 things. I don't mix with a lot of things because I feel heavy and I feel very...
bloated.
But not only bloated, I feel very lazy. And I don't like that feeling being lazy.
Yeah.
I like to be very active. I always try to help. For example, if you're going to sit and eat, right, I'm full already. But if Olga is sitting and eating in front of me and she's enjoying it.
So you're going to mimic.
Right. So what happens, we have mirror cells, right? So we mirror each other. So even if I don't want to, I'm going to just pick up and just continue eating. So what I do, I realize I'm doing this. I'm not hungry. So what I do, I get up and I help. I change plates. I help. I clean. I do this. I talk.
Start moving.
So I start moving. Okay. I try to distract myself because by the time, if you have a lunch or dinner for 2-3 hours, you know how much food you can eat for 2-3 hours?
A lot of food.
A lot of food, which you didn't eat for the whole week.
Yes.
And you need to digest. And as you get older, our stomach's shrinking slowly by slowly. But if you can put too much food, it's not comfortable for the body. It's too much work, and body gets very tired. And that's how I became very, very old. We're overworking our body organs. Or after the dinner, I try to walk. I don't sit in the car. I'm like, let's guys walk for an hour or 2. I can eat carbs I can eat good meat. I love steaks, but I don't eat meat every day. I ask my body, do I want meat today, or do I want chicken today? So do I want fish? I love beans. So I know for sure beans is a great product for the proteins. It's going to really make you full and gives you a lot of good nutrients for your body. You're not going to be hungry as much if you eat a lot of proteins. And one of my favorite proteins, like I said, it's beans. You can mix it with a nice celery or bell peppers, and it's colorful and it's delicious. So implementing beans on everyday life, it's going to make you happy, healthy, and more active and strong. You're not going to be hungry as much if you implement more proteins in your daily diet.
Marina, do you believe in seasonal fruits and vegetables?
Definitely. We need to eat seasonal fruits and vegetables because it's, for example, this fall season, we have a lot of dates and figs and pomegranate. It's delicious. Try to eat as much as possible seasonal fruits and vegetables because it has so many elements, aroma and taste, a lot of nutrients and a lot of vitamins and minerals. And again, it's also harvest in that season. So it's delivered to you directly. But if you eat something 2 seasons away, 3 seasons away, these nutrients and minerals, they're not as productive as supposed to be. If, for example, if it's not berry seasons, right, you can buy frozen. There was harvest and frozen in that week maybe or that day because they're not losing that minerals and vitamins. You can do that if you really like berries.
What would be your best piece of advice for someone that has impulsive eating habits?
First, I think change your mindset. Like really work on yourself. I think.
Would you suggest locking up the fridge?
You can do that. You can make a note. No, I think you really need to kind of, a lot of people, we can say, don't eat this, don't eat this, don't that. But you're not going to, like, I had a phone call yesterday. Can you talk to my daughter not to eat? Like, I'm like, I cannot tell her this. She have to really realize, and she needs to know she wants to do a change.
How do you help people find that common sense to come to the realization that they are done?
They have to really want to do what they want to do.
How do you help them do that?
When we talk, and I said, what's the purpose for it to be here? Just get up in the morning, eat, and what? Go to bed? And what? What else? What 5 years from now? What 10 years from now? Like, what's the point to be? You want to be healthy, but health comes from where? 80% of your health comes from your diet. No matter what, it comes from your diet. Okay, you can exercise all day, but if you're eating wrong food, it's not going to work.
So it's all about choices.
Choices. You have to make right choices. And also, you have to educate yourself. Again, you have to know yourself, who you are. For example, again, for some people who have a lot of acid reflux, like I had a girl who came to me, you know what, I went to the doctor, I have acid reflux, and the doctor gave me a prescription. I said, big mistake. I said, you should just avoid some food. What? Nightshades, eggplant, bell peppers, tomatoes. Those food you need to avoid, and you will not have acid reflux. Drink more water. Be more mindful. We did this for 2-3 months. No acid reflux. Excellent. No pills. So by changing your diet, again, your body tells you what to eat and not to eat by listening to the body. But how body can listen to if you, from the morning, screaming kids, yelling, you get up late, you cannot, you're not on time at work, so you're constantly rushing. You're not listening to your body. You ignore it. Okay, I will eat later. Okay, what do I have in the fridge? Let's just put everything I have. Let's eat on the go. So you're not listening to your body. That's why it's very important to come to yoga, to practice yoga. You become more mindful, more calm, more relaxed. You feel your body. When I started practicing yoga, I could regulate, I can control my cravings. I used to be crazy about chocolate. But since I'm practicing yoga, it's really helping me to avoid this sugary, starchy food. I'm more in the fiber. I don't cook meal a lot. Like for me, meal to prepare, 10 minutes. I have a lot of intake of eggs. I eat a lot of avocado, seeds, nuts. I love cherry tomatoes. Kind of eat a lot of greens in my diet. So it's easy for me to prepare. I don't need to spend 2-3 hours to make a meal. It takes me 10 minutes to prepare delicious, fun, colorful, beautiful, with a glass of wine sometimes. I love wine. But once in a while, I can, You know, life is beautiful. You can't just always limit yourself. Don't eat this, but you have to have fun, too. Know what to have fun.
Well, we spoke about it, that everything has to be in moderation.
Balance, consistency, discipline. That's success.
Where do you find all this motivation? What do you follow? Who do you follow? What do you do?
I mean, the best motivation, my clients, I think I see the results. I have people who lost 60 pounds. I see people who changed their lives mentally, emotionally, physically. People who went to school for doctorate because they changed their diet, they started more focused, who couldn't pass the DET, people who better relationship with the husbands or with the kids. It's all about diet, connecting with yourself, changing diet at home. It's like, Marina, you know what? I have less cholesterol. I changed my diet. Even my husband, he called me one day, honestly, he said, Marina, you know what? I need pills. I want to take pills for my cholesterol. I said, no. I mean, you're going to take this pill for the cholesterol, but this one pill is going to create other 10 different problems. I said, why don't we do? I'll help you. I promise you, I'll help you. I always make meal for him, but he always like, I want this, I want cheese. He loves cheese, me too, but I'm more balanced. And so I will make meal for you, healthy meal. So let's do this together. So since we started doing this together, he lost 8 pounds.
Wow.
He stopped drinking coffee. He stopped consuming sugar. He quit smoking, and it's amazing. He's transformed, and he feels better. He feels light. He feels energized, and he feels young.
So the craving goes away.
Right, of course.
When you cook.
It's all habits. So our brain, 3 weeks it takes for the brain to adjust.
It takes 21 days.
If you're gonna really stick with 21 days or 3 weeks, you're winner. Correct. So then you're not going to go back. Unless one day you slack here and there, that's okay. But again, it's consistency, discipline. There's a million excuses. Don't do, or do, not do. But again, you have one life. Why lose it? Why lose your life?
You are your biggest asset, right?
Yes. Why would you lose this joy? I always say, do you want to waste your time going to the doctors and pay crazy bills at age 40, 45, 50? You don't want to do that, right? What do you want to do now? Prepare yourself now for the old age. By how? By eating healthy. Make good choices. Study. Call. Ask people who knows. Call nutrition maybe. Call me if you need some help. Or call people who knows better than you do. And maybe just there is a lot of access to the, to website or YouTube or so many, information out there. Just don't be lazy, because lazy going to catch up with you.
Oh, yeah.
Lazy is the way to hell. We don't want that. What do we want? We want to focus. We want to be energized. And we're a good example for our who? Kids.
Correct.
Okay? Your kids look up to you. Don't tell kids what to eat, not to eat. Do it. And they're going to look up to you. They're going to make the good choices. Because I see how my son, he makes good choices. I stopped telling him what to eat, not to eat. He looks like I'm exercising. He looks what I eat, how I eat. And also it's very important how you eat. I don't use plastic plates. I don't use plastic containers. Actually, in Europe, they forbid to use plastic. Right? It's very dangerous because a lot of cancer, a lot of all the disease comes from the plastic. You need to eat from the nice, good plates. I don't like to eat outside a lot. I mean, once in a while, I'll go out with my husband, but I love to eat from home because I wash my product. I see what I buy. I look at expiration days. I'm sure my hands are clean because I don't know who's cooking for me. Maybe he just cut his finger. Maybe, I don't know if he washed his, what energy, what kind of energy is he or her prepared for me, because it's very important. And I always tell women who comes to me, I always tell you have to cook for your husband, because the way you cook, that's the energy he's going to get. You connect through the food. Food is crazy. It's art. It's a magic. Food is, you can change your life by food. I mean, I changed my life because
it's a willpower, Marina.
Yes. And again, if you want to change environment in your home, start with yourself. And as a woman, as we're all women, we need to learn and be a little bit more mindful what we serve to our family, to our kids, and to our spouses.
Marina, changing your life, how did it help you change the family life?
It helped a lot because, again, I started with myself, and it's slowly, my kid learned, my husband learned, because we mirror each other. We learn from each other. I learn a lot of good things from my husband. He's learning from me. And what I'm learning, I'm also incorporating with my parents. I'm teaching. It's hard, like when your parents 70, 60, 75, 80, it's hard for them to change because their mindset, the way they grow up with pirashki, the blinchiki, smetana. So it's hard for them to mold. That's why I always tell everybody, start educating themselves as early as possible. It's very important to know what you eat. It's who you are, And if you ignore now, it's going to ignore you as we get older. And the earlier you're going to start, the better you're going to feel as you're going to age. I'm impacting my body, my mind. It's definitely affecting not only me, my family, my yoga team, people who come to me. And I'm glad that people come to me and also sharing this knowledge and wisdom with the parents, with the family, friends. It's interesting how slowly each of us can impact, people's lives differently. Yes.
What is it like having yoga and proper eating, teaching your students?
You need food, right? But again, what you eat. And when you eat light, again, you move your body, you rotate your body smoothly, right? So again, you can eat, but in moderation, and it helps you to kind of be more stable, more balanced. For example, I have a lady yesterday, she came to me, she said, you know what, I have hot flashes. And I said, she probably going through the menopause. And I said, it's very important to eat proper food because in menopause, what happens? The estrogen level goes down, right? Estrogen is a very important hormone because it's kind of nourishing our heart and the blood vessels. But if it's going to go down, as what's a menopause done, so you get hot flashes. What else? Your bones becomes more soft, right? You get mood swings. So in this way, you have to be very careful. You need to eat more, proteins and low sodium. But some people don't know. They impact a lot of carbs because they're having that satisfaction 5 minutes, but they don't understand. It's actually going to reverse. It's actually going to make them more hyper. It's going to make them more mood swings. It's going to be more of them lazy and tired. So you have to be very careful in menopause when a woman goes through. Put a lot of it. Try to focus on more proteins, on more fiber, on less sodium. Go for a walk, right? So this is one example how food impacts, and stretching and breathing and meditating. It's all incorporates in one thing, in what? In slowing your aging process, in well-being, and just enjoying life. You too, 45, 50, it's just life starting. But imagine with going through all these difficulties, challenges, it's frustrating. So I think my advice giving this lady helped a lot. And I hope women hearing me out there, if you're going through this kind of challenges, please be mindful what you put in your mouth. Try to be more focused on proteins and fiber, vegetables, colorful, eat less, walk more, breathe, meditate. If you need help, you know where to find me. I'm looking forward.
Marina, you have so much wisdom and knowledge and you're working so much on yourself. What have you witnessed with your clients as far as their improvement, let's say, to get a better job? I'm talking about from the mental state, right? So when our mental state commands that we could do certain things, we could start achieving bigger results.
Right.
And so what have you witnessed with your clients or maybe with yourself, the improvement on, implementation of yoga and proper nutrition?
And when idea comes, when you light, when you eat less, because it used to be like 100 years ago, even in biblical time, we used to fast. Why? To cleanse ourselves. But when you cleanse ourselves, we create good thoughts. And when you get good thoughts, becomes what? Action. And when you have good actions, that's part of life. So every action you're going to take now, every thought you're going to think, that's going to affect year from now, 2 years from now. So where you are now, Ola, it's all your thoughts and action and the food you ate a year ago, 2 years ago, right? So everything it incorporates, everything it connects. Food should be joy, but everything should be limited. Everything should be balanced. Everything should be mindful and very thought. You have to listen to your body. You have to know your body. I think that's going to help you a lot to kind of, find good job. I have a lady who I met. She was very skinny, and all of a sudden she got married to this guy who was almost 2x. After a while, she gained a lot of weight because she incorporated all those habits as her husband, eating late, going out late, eating heavy food. It's very, very sad. And this woman has other issues, knee problems and thyroid problems and digestion problems and sleeping problems, okay? And you can focus at a job. So you see, everything's connected with everything. What you put in your mouth, how you pick your food, what you make for yourself, very important.
What is the best piece of advice you could give to someone who's trying to redirect their mental state to be more mindful about their life, beginning from yoga, meditation, and food? How would you recommend they begin? If I came to you for the first time, Marina, and I didn't know where to begin, what advice would you give me?
First, I think, change your diet. Very important. But you have to be ready for this. I can say to eat this, but you have to know your body. You have to listen to your body. But in order for you to listen to your body, you have to eat less. You have to walk a lot because you connect with yourself. You have to look at the food. You have to do a lot of work. It's not easy. I'll tell you, it's not easy. It's a lot of time and work on yourself. But the reward is the best. I'm telling you, you're going to feel good. You're going to be 60, 70. You're going to look amazing. You're going to be flexible. You're going to be open. You're going to be fun. You can have fun. I have this lady. She's 65 years old. She lost 60 pounds with me. She couldn't bend. She couldn't even sit on the floor. Now she's grandkids. She can sit on the floor. She does yoga with her granddaughter.
Wow.
She's like, Marina, it's such a pleasure. I can sit on the floor with my granddaughter and do some poses, yoga poses. Why? Because
Priceless.
She changed her diet. She thought she will never be able to do this. It's all our mindset.
Correct.
We think we're not able to do it. We're able to do anything you want. It's just really, do you really want that? Or you just really just lying to yourself? I want it. I want to get up in the morning, feel good, feel painless. Sometimes I have days on and off, but most of the time you want to feel good, right? So you have to work on it.
You believe nutrition affects people's pain besides to what we discussed already as far as the spinal pain, lower back pain?
Of course.
Let's touch that.
Of course. Can we stop?
Well, Marinочка, I appreciate you making me an amazing, beautiful lunch. In the middle of our recording, I felt a little bit crashed.
Yes.
Speaking of food, I guess my brain got tired.
Right, and you had energy.
And I was low on energy, and thank you for feeding me with a beautiful lunch. We're going to show everybody the pictures of what you've made. You definitely have very big talent. And it looks like you enjoy.
Yes.
Like I go on appointments and I service my clients.
Yeah, food.
You go back into your kitchen and you're becoming very creative.
Very creative. Because, food for me, like I said, it's art. And food changed my life too because I get excited when I cook. It's kind of, my brain gets off from what's happening in the family, whatever. It makes me joy. I feel happy. I feel excited. Especially, I use a lot of colors. I make it very beautiful dishes. I want people to be excited about coming to my table, and it's very important for me to give this pleasure to my family. To teach my son. I always want my son and my family to learn, to learn how to eat beautifully and taste good things in life, because the life is so beautiful. The earth is so amazing, creating so beautiful stuff, and incorporate and bring it beautiful on the plate. It's an art. It's art.
You should have a cooking party.
Maybe one day I will, but when I have a little bit more time, maybe I will. But I think I love cooking, like I said, and I love eating. I can't wait to come home to make lunch for myself, and it's lunch for me 10, 15 minutes. It's fun, and I have a glass of wine. Like coming to you here, I'm like, you know what? Olga's going to be hungry. It's 1 o'clock. She's going to pick me up. Maybe I'm going to make something fun for her, and I'm glad you enjoyed. I'm glad you really.
It was delicious.
Yes, and you're smiling. Energy's back again. Like what nutrition, right? It's energy. We need this energy. We need to consume this beautiful, delicious, colorful food to create energy. And when we have energy, we can continue producing, creating, and enjoying life.
Well, the truth is my brain was shutting down.
I'm glad.
And good thing you were here to like catch on it and you're
Right.
like, let's time out. Let's restart.
Right.
Yeah. So Marina, what really motivates you to cook and what motivates you really to continue to do what you do on daily basis? Like besides the fact that you want to be healthy,
Right.
besides the fact that you want to be looking good, what drives you? What's your goal? What motivates you?
Creating
Your
good-
son just recently got married, right?
Right. You know, when I got married, I mean, if you look at the movies, right, even Cleopatra, she had so many lovers and she had so many servants. So, but for her lover, she was making food herself. Why? Because it's the energy she was providing.
Wow.
So, as a woman, we need to provide energy. But when you create something with your hands, especially through the food, they always say that love to get to your man through the food, right? So if you create a good food, healthy food, and present food, making food is one thing, but presenting food is also the art. It's other way of getting, you know,
Expressing care.
expressing yourself, expressing your emotions. And you know why we always wants to go to very expensive restaurant, because the way they serve you, the way they prepare food, with the combination of food, it's very important.
Your husband is a lucky man.
He is very lucky, and I'm lucky too. So I realized, you know, I put a lot of effort and studying and learning, and I was we travel a lot with my husband. So every time we go to restaurant, I watch carefully, I taste carefully. If I like presentation, I take a picture, and I try to repeat it at home. I think it's fun. It's fun when your husband and your family sees how much you try to make presentable, something cute, beautiful. His mood elevates and he's becoming grateful, and you become grateful and you do more things. I think it's fun. I don't
Marina,
know.
you gotta buy a house.
I mean, one day.
So you could have a backyard and make a lot of grills outdoors and maybe even build an outdoor kitchen.
One day. That's the future. That's
A lot of
future.
high-end properties we have with double kitchens.
Looking,
So one primary
looking
inside
forward
the
for that.
house and
Yes.
one secondary. I always have a big passion when it comes to outdoor kitchens and, you know, people that definitely enjoy cooking.
I'm great at and you know cooking, but I'm not good at baking. I cannot bake. Because first of all, I know it's mentally a program. I said if I'm going to learn how to bake, I'm going to be fat because I love pastries.
So you're conditioning your brain.
Right. I love pastries. I love baking. I mean, I don't bake, but I like to eat pastries and all sweet stuff. I love. But because I know if I'm going to bake, I'm going to eat. So that's why I do not bake. So every time I bake, I kind of mix, like instead of putting butter, I put less butter. So I always, modify something. It never comes good. So I'm like, okay, I'm not a good baker. And I give up and I don't bake. But in cooking, that's what I feel. Joy,
What do you like to cook?
happiness. I cook I don't cook heavy food. And even if I want to, I can also cook very good Bukharian food if I really want to. But I make very easy and fast food. A lot of greens, a lot of tomatoes.
So how many times a day do you cook?
Every day I make breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
When do you have time?
Every day.
When do you have time?
I make time. Like I said, if I don't put too much emphasis on cooking, like hours. I just cook, like it takes me maybe 15 to 20 minutes to cook. So I buy, what I do usually, I do a grocery like once a week. Like I know I eat a lot of greens, so I have greens. I have 3-4 basic things I always have in my fridge, like avocado, eggs, greens, tomatoes. I love those, cucumbers, radish. These things you can always find. Nuts, lemons, honey a little bit, because I do my own dressing. Actually, dressing is very important. You know what the funny part? A lot of people tell me, Marie, you know what? I cannot lose weight because, I'm eating so healthy, but I cannot lose weight. I said, what do you put in your dressing? Because dressing can be 1,000 calories.
Wow.
I always recommend clients, make your own dressing. How? Lemon. Very simple. Lemon. If you like garlic, put a little bit garlic. If you put a little bit honey Dijon, if you want to. Garlic, lemon, honey Dijon, just a little bit honey, and oil, olive oil. That's it. It's delicious. Simple. Or if you don't have none of this, lemon and oil.
So the next episode we will do, you're going to showcase how to
Very
cook.
simple, very simple. Sometimes, sometimes I don't have time. When I do the best thing, I just boil 2 eggs. I put a little bit of greens, pack my lunch, and go. Because you know what? I'm always
On the go.
on the go. Because I'm taking care of my father. I'm always with going to the doctors with him, or I'm between my clients. So I try to, again, I don't buy lunch outside, not because I cannot afford, because I don't know what product they use. I don't know if they washed my greens, if what kind of sodium, how much sodium they put there. I don't know. I have to watch. So I always pack my lunch, and I love when I open my lunch. I get excited. Oh my God, I'm going to eat my favorite food. So not only for myself, I pack for my father. If my son-in-law, my son, if my friends, I'm going to do like I did for you today, right? So it's a joy. It's not a chore. And I think the most important thing, I'm not lazy. I think that's a good quality I have in me. I'm not lazy. I'm going to get up 6 o'clock in the morning. Like today, I got up 6 o'clock in the morning. I had my breakfast. I did my yoga. I did breakfast for my husband. I did shopping for the holidays already. And I came home. I already went to work. Then I came back to home, did another shopping. Then I went back to work. Then I came back to dress up and be here. And I made lunch for myself. So I'm not lazy. I'm always find things what makes me really good, exciting and fun. And I'm looking forward for the day.
Marina, you love food so much, and it sounds like you enjoy,
and
being
I'm not,
fit and
right,
eating
and I'm
right.
not skinny, and at the same time I'm not fat. So I'm okay. I love myself.
You are a happy body.
I'm a happy body, right? So I think food really plays a big role in our psychological, mental, emotional, physical. What you eat, how much you eat, when you eat, with whom you eat, and how you eat. So everything is affects.
Amazing.
I'm sure you like food too.
Oh, listen. For us, food is a rewarding factor. With me and my husband, we work long hours.
Mm-hmm.
And in many cases, we burn a lot of calories. And our business, especially now, is not so easy. Everybody knows we're going through very challenging times right now with interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things are changing. This is why we have to step up and really transform and change the way we live life and the way we do things. And I'm like you, I'm always looking for many different ways how to make correction of areas that we need to improve. And this is what I love to do. Like, I always like to look at things, not that I'm good at.
Mm-hmm.
I always like to look for things that I'm failing at.
Yeah, that's
and
how you're
work
going to
on
grow,
it.
right?
And
That's
this
how
is
you're going to grow. You challenge yourself.
Correct.
If you're going to say right away, oh, I cannot do this.
No.
Like I have this lady who came to me, she's like, oh, I cannot quit smoking. No, I love it. I said, no, let's just try. Let's just put your thought into this. Oh, I like this. In the morning, I like coffee and I like this. Or, in the morning, I eat on certain things. No, just try. Like, just try. And you can do it. And slowly, gradually changing. So I give some good recipes, like, how to do chia puddings or do other things, modify some food. It should not be so complicated. The diet, it doesn't mean it should be boring. I never diet. Like, I don't diet. I have a normal, good lifestyle with fun food, which I balance my fat, my carbs, my proteins. But I try to focus more on proteins because proteins keeps me longer throughout the day. I'm not hungry as fast as I'm going to eat carbs and sugary. And especially when, for example, a lot of people say, you know what, I'm not eating much. I said, what do you drink? Soda. That's sugar. That's it. That's why I'm not losing weight. Cut soda, cut juices. Bad juices, not fresh juices. Even those fresh juices, you have to be very mindful how much you consume those,
Did you
juices.
drink soda in your
No,
life?
I'm not a big drinker. Honestly, I only drink soda, I'll be honest with you, when I eat pizza.
Ooh.
Yes, I like this combination. I don't know why. Maybe when I came to America, they showed me pizza with Coke, Coca-Cola. So maybe that's
Do you still
why.
eat pizza?
I do. I'll be honest. I do like
Cauliflower?
No. I eat the real pizza. Listen, if I'm gonna cheat, I'm gonna cheat. I don't do this like low-fat diet. I don't believe in this. It's me personally. Again, it's for my body. I know my body. For some people, maybe you need this fat, low diet. For me, if I eat pizza, I'm gonna eat once in 1 month. Maybe in 3 months, I'm gonna eat pizza. But I don't have cravings for pizza. But if I'm gonna go chill with people who is eating pizza, I'm gonna have good pizza with a Coke.
Wow.
That's it. But it doesn't mean that I'm doing this every day or once a week. No. Again, it's a life. You have to kind of explore, try.
So you have a zigzag days.
Right. Then.
That's what Tony Robbins says.
Right.
Tony Robbins says that you are allowed to have once a week
Yeah, you
a
can do that.
zigzag day.
Shabbat maybe that day for some
Yes,
people.
for us it's Shabbat. Yes.
But listen, even though, like, for example, if I'm going to eat pizza, right, lunchtime, right? But dinner, I'm not eating dinner. And I'm going to make myself walking 15,000 steps.
Oh, wow.
Sometimes I walk 25,000 steps to kind of make sure, like I said, Marina,
So you torture yourself.
you just ate pizza.
Wow.
You better go for a walk, for another
Wow.
walk. Don't be lazy. Get up and go for a walk. And I'm going to go for a walk, no matter what.
So if you have a zigzag day, you find a way to pay the price.
Yes. You have to, like I said, it's all about balancing. Okay, so that's okay. You can't, like, life should be fun. You can't just, like, otherwise it's going to be boring and you're going to be depressed and you're going to start even eating more. We don't want that, right?
Marina, do you read books on this
Yes,
topic?
Yes, I have a very good book, actually.
I'm curious to see your library.
Yes, in Russian it says how to раздельное питание, how to kind of eat proteins separately, don't mix with carbs too much. It's a very good book. I learned a lot from this book. It's actually how to heal yourself, like, separate proteins with the carbs, with sugar. For example, if you eat chicken, right, just plain chicken breast, this is solid protein. But if you eat chicken with the skin, it's chicken with fat, like protein with the fat, right? And then you take this chicken and you bread it, so you have carbs, protein, and fat on top. But imagine what's going to happen with your body. So it's too much impact. It's on the body. It's hard to digest. So I learned how to kind of separate. If I eat chicken, I'm going to eat, or if I'm going to have a steak, I'm going to eat with the salad. So fiber with the carb and fat. So it's a nice digestion, and it's easy to digest, and I feel better. I used to eat like French fries and steak, and on top of it hummus, and on top of it bread and this and that. So layers and layers of food. It made me feel really, really sick. So I kind of separate, like, again, steak if I eat with a lot of salad. I'm more focused on complex carbs. Complex carbs is like a sweet potato, squash. So, I can make a soup of this, or can steam it, I can grill it. So it's good carbs. It's a complex carbs. It's very important for our brain. And we need also good fat. It should be a nice combination.
Balance.
You know what, also a very interesting thing, a lot of people come to me and they ask, you know what, Marina, I'm taking these vitamins. I'm taking these supplements. What do you think about this? And I tell them, honestly, I don't take any supplements because I eat a normal, vegetable. I eat normal, basic nutrients in my daily life. So I'm okay. What I do, if I feel like not myself, I take blood work and I see based on my blood work what I need to eat, not to eat too. So a lot of people come to me, oh, you know what, I'm taking B12. I'm taking this vitamin. I'm like, did you consult the doctor? Did you do blood work? No, somebody told me to have this vitamin. I'm like, no, you can't do this, because sometimes when you take too much vitamins or supplements, you can actually create a lot of toxins on your body if you over taking vitamins, right? It's very dangerous. So what I recommend, always go to the doctor, take a blood work and see, maybe you have a deficiency of the iron. Maybe you need to focus more on apples, right? Or maybe a chicken liver eat. So it's very important, do the blood work instead of listening. Like, listen later, I'm taking B12. Maybe you're not eating meat enough, right? How do you know, do you need B12? You don't know unless you do blood work. So my always advice, always do blood work before you take any supplements or any vitamins, because all these vitamins and minerals and all this you can get from the food if you eat properly. But I'll tell you, in the wintertime, I will take vitamin C because we're all deficient in vitamin C, and I will take a little bit zinc to kind of boost my immune system. That's what I would do maybe for a few days. If I feel a little bit not myself, if I'm coughing, if I'm a little bit under the weather. But overall, I don't take any vitamins or any pills or any supplemental, because my blood work shows everything's fine. Why should I take something extra? So you have to be very mindful.
Marina, do you have an Instagram page that shows all your wonderful cooking?
I do. I used to put it more when I had time, but I don't have time, honestly, to put this. It's a lot of work to put on Instagram, do this, that. But I started. I have
They
some
say
fun
it's not
stuff.
important. we can't say we don't have time because God created 24 hours for
Yes,
everybody.
but for this, you really need to sit and put, and I'm not that great in.
But you gave us so many pictures.
Yes, because when I was making, you know what, when I was making a taper, sometimes I take pictures, sometimes when I have time.
But it would be nice to see all your creativity on Instagram pages.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, Marina is so creative when it comes to food. She plays with food like many people play with cards, and she enjoys it, and she's mastered the combination of different food intake, right? So I personally feel that if you created your own Instagram account and you started to just like take seconds,
Yes.
take a picture, post it, I express my love through my food, your husband, what you cook for him. I think it will motivate a lot of people.
Definitely.
It will motivate your followers. It will motivate your community. It will motivate a lot of moms that you are working with. It's going to motivate a lot of grandmas,
Yes.
Like right now, my kids are grown up. And I can't say that I don't care, but I'm not in control of what they do on a daily basis. But I will definitely be in control of what my granddaughter will be able to eat, right, for a certain period of time. So I will definitely put a lot of effort into that. But what I'm saying is that I think that you are a role model for many, and that if you really put a lot of effort into run, but then put on Instagram to what you got, we could all enjoy.
I'll try.
So I believe you can do it, and I will help you as much as we can. We're going to definitely work on it together.
We'll try.
We're definitely thinking about doing more fun things together. We want to organize events. We want to create classes. We want to do group stuff. We want to organize maybe like yoga trainings with following that.
Right.
Marina will be teaching, how she does her, cooking. Marina has a kitchen in her studio, so there is no excuses. So kitchen is right there in the middle of your living room. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. And I can't thank you enough, Marina, for taking your busy life right now to pause and be here with me today. I definitely enjoyed our time together. I enjoyed your salads and your meals that you prepared
I knew
for
you're
me.
busy, so
Yes,
I did it.
I appreciate it.
Yes, and final thing I want you to say to everybody, food, again, play with food. Have fun with food. It should not be that boring. And also, you're going to have a channel. You're going to find that love to your husband, to your kids, through food. I definitely did. I found that love. And I think all of us can do. If you need some help, you can always call me and ask me.
Not through plastic plates, right?
No plastic plates. Guys, no plastic, because it's not healthy. And it's beautiful, more presentable on the beautiful, nice plates. I think, enjoy. Life is too short. We eat with ice, okay? And just love yourself first, and the love is going to come to you back from other sources, because the love comes from you, radiates from yourself, and it comes to you from, like I said, from other sources. And life is beautiful, and enjoy every moment. Every day is a gift. Love yourself.
We are what we eat.
We are what we eat.
We are what we eat.
Yes.
Marinочka, thank you very much again for being here with me today. Everyone, we definitely love you. We do this. I promise you, no one is paying us for this time. We are not getting paid for this. This is just a contribution. We want to give back to our community. We're going to give back to the world. We live in a wonderful, wonderful, very abundant world right now where everything is so easily accessible, but we need to make the right choices.
Right.
And with that, I can't wait for our next episodes to come. There will be so much fun. Stay tuned, everybody. Subscribe to our channels. Keep following us. There is more fun stuff to come. I love you all.